When we are asked to pick one card from a deck of cards, we almost always reach for somewhere in the middle of the deck. When we pull a cake out of the oven and test its moisture level with a toothpick, we poke the center of the cake. And when we tell a slice of life story about the average day of an average person, we don't sample the first 20 turbulent years of his life or the last 10 of hers. We naturally focus on the mean between those two, someone in his or her 30s, 40s, or 50s. According to recent statistics, there are about 2 billion Muslims in the world. If we were to select the most representative individual out of all those 2 billion, what would he or she be like? If we could do this randomly and produce a 100-person sample size, that would be ideal. But for the purposes of this video, I am going to select for the largest group or middlemost point in each category, from the international level to the local economic sector, and see who comes out as the average Muslim. When we hear the word Muslim, we tend to think Arab or Pakistani. But the world's 3 most populous Muslim countries are: number 3, India, 200 million, all these being 2025 figures. Number 2, Pakistan, 241 million. And number 1, Indonesia, 243 million. So unless we view South Asia as one country, and it was at one time, we will have to accept an Indonesian Muslim as the most representative by a very small margin of Muslims worldwide. But which part of Indonesia? Among Indonesia's 17,000 islands, the 3 whose Indonesian portions are the largest are Kalimantan, Sumatra, and Irian Jaya. But Java has by far the highest population, 150 million, 2022 figures, compared to 53 million in Sumatra and 17 million in Sulawesi. In Java, the largest number of Muslims is found in West Java, 49 million, followed by East Java, 41 million, and Central Java, 38 million. In West Java, the regency with the highest population is Bogor, 5.7 million in 2024. Its northern part is the most densely populated, so our average Muslim could be living in a district close to Jakarta. By 2024 estimates, the most populous district in that region is Rumpin. According to 2023 statistics, Rumpin's population was 153,211, comprising 79,848 males and 73,363 females. So let's go with males. An official report on the workforce in Bogor Regency in 2024 shows that more than half of those employed were not in farming or manufacturing, as one might expect, but in services. What kinds of services? Google tells me that service work in Bogor Regency includes public administration, population and civil registration, building permits, public health, sanitation, community-based total sanitation, tourism, and employment services. Scrolling down on that same page to select one job, I see an advertisement for a position in Bogor, and in English, "Be the face of our clubhouse, greet guests, manage bookings, and keep facilities welcoming as our receptionist or club attendant." So there we have it. Our most typical Muslim could be a young male receptionist in Bogor, just south of Jakarta, Indonesia. I say young because the average age in Indonesia is 30.4 years. A 30-year-old would actually have a hard time getting that job because the employment market for public relations work is heavily skewed to the newly graduated in their early 20s. Never mind, we'll hire him anyway, just to get this over with. Now, here's a statistic that I found surprising. According to a survey by Pew Research Center and the World Bank, Indonesia leads the world in daily prayer frequency, with an impressive 95% of its population praying each day. No Arab country ranks among the top 10 in frequency of prayer. According to one trusted source, there is a 70% chance that this average young man performs his worship 5 times a day and is 90% likely to attend Friday congregational prayers. There is an 80% likelihood that he is married and has at least one child. The chance that his wife does not go out to work but stays home to look after their child is 50%. We have then not a bearded, gun-toting, turban-wearing, sandal-shod desert dweller or mountain goat herder with strong tribal loyalties and a hatred of all things Western, but an up-and-coming mid-level employee in a densely populated island on what is considered to be the fringe of the Muslim world. And yet, thanks to God's guidance, which includes his cultural environment, he is probably more connected to his religion than the Muslims of the Middle East we consider to be typical. There is, of course, no such thing as an average Muslim. We can slice that loaf of identity in so many different places and directions that generalizing about Muslims is finally ridiculous. But we all use stereotypes in our mental picture of the world and its people. So let us try using that one instead for a while. A young Indonesian man who can speak a little English. If only to be a bit more imaginative and creative in our use of the word Muslim. And when we pray, let us never forget that Allah loves every one of us, and especially the ordinary, the average, the typical, and the unremarkable among us. That's why He created so many of that sort. We don't need to be special to be loved by Him. However ordinary we are, and all of us are in so many ways, we only become extraordinary by our extraordinary devotion to and worship of Him.